Hello, my name is Nick Best. I'm an occupational therapist and part of my job is to help people manage their breathlessness. In this video I'm going to be talking about breathing techniques that can help reduce the impact of this symptom on your life. This advice is designed to help people with chronic stable breathlessness. So if you have new breathlessness you haven't had before, or if your breathlessness has suddenly got worse or suddenly changed in some way, then it's important to get medical advice. So if you have a problem with chronic breathlessness, then it's likely that there's an underlying physiological or medical problem that the doctors would like to try and treat if they could. Often they're not able to treat it to the extent that it completely removes the problem. So what we're going to be doing in this video isn't talking about medical solutions to breathlessness, it's about making the most efficient use of your breathing apparatus to reduce the impact of those problems. So we're going to be talking about breathing techniques that best engage the muscles that you have for breathing. Now, the most important muscle to use is the diaphragm. This is a sheet of muscle that goes underneath your lungs and it helps you to breathe by moving up and down. So we want to use the diaphragm as much as we can when we're breathing. There are other muscles which can contribute to breathing, and they're designed really to contribute to breathing in very difficult situations. They're not supposed to be used all the time to help your breathing. These are muscles in your chest, your shoulders and your neck. Now, part of the problem, not just for people with chronic breathlessness, but for the population as a whole, most of us seem to breathe kind of wrong. We use too much chest, shoulders, neck muscles. Perhaps we're trying to suck our tummies in to look better, I don't know. That seems to be how we've learnt to breathe. If you watch a baby breathing, they'll usually breathe from the tummy, which is what we want. And some adults have learnt how to do that as well. If you see, say, an opera singer breathing, or if you have a singing lesson with a good singing teacher, they'll be teaching you to breathe into your tummy here and use your diaphragm. And so they've had to relearn how to do that. And as someone with a breathlessness problem, that is also really what you need to do. So it's worth practicing. It often feels unnatural to start with, so it's worth practicing it, perhaps 10 minutes twice a day if you've got time, just to sit there thinking about breathing into your tummy. And the way we like to talk about this is as relaxed tummy breathing, so it shouldn't be difficult. Breathing from the diaphragm is more efficient. The diaphragm's very unlikely to get tired, unlike the chest muscles and others that aren't designed to be used for breathing all the time. And so it should be relaxed and easier to do. So relaxed tummy breathing, we're trying to breathe so that instead of puffing our chest out when we breathe, which is what people generally think of when you're taking a deep breath, is to breathe into the tummy. And we also want the breathing to be calm and relaxed. Often when someone's feeling panicky about their breathlessness, which is absolutely understandable because it's a scary feeling, part of the fight or flight response, which we will talk about in the anxiety video, is to do faster, shallower breathing. Like that, breathing more and more air in on top of each other. And we don't want to do that because that's unhelpful. So we're going to be breathing into the tummy in a relaxed, slow and calm way. So it's good to put your hand on your tummy and a hand on your chest. The chest should stay fairly still and the tummy should come out when you breathe in, like this. Try and breathe in through your nose if you can, if it's not blocked up. Like that, and the slower you can, the better. It may be that even I was breathing too fast then. If you're able to breathe slower and calmer, that's a really good way to do it. So relaxed tummy breathing is the the best thing to do. It's obviously good to do if you're having an attack of breathlessness, but also it's good to practice, and the more you can do it, it does feel a bit difficult to maintain to start with, but the more you can do it just around your everyday life, the better. Many people find it helpful to envisage your relaxed tummy breathing as a wave. So you breathe in and then slowly breathe out, and then slowly in and slowly out, like relaxing waves on a beach. Another way that people find helpful, and this is a good one because it gives you something visual to focus on, is to find a rectangle. It's called oblong breathing, and you can look around yourself, see if you can find a television or a picture or a window or a door, anything that is rectangular. Follow it with your eyes while you're doing your relaxed tummy breathing, and breathe out along the top, then in down the side, like that, as you go round, again as calmly and relaxed as you can. And the idea is that ensures that you're doing relaxed breathing, you're getting the in breath, you're getting the out breath, and it's important to remember to do the out breath. And that might sound strange, but when people are struggling for breath, you don't need to remember to breathe in, but a lot of people seem almost to forget to breathe out. They're so desperate to get air in, and you get these sort of shallow breaths sort of coming on top of each other into the lungs in a sort of panicky way like that. If you think about how your lungs work, they need to take air in with oxygen. That oxygen gets distributed to the blood and then around the body, and then the air needs to go out with the waste product of carbon dioxide. If you're only breathing in and not breathing out, then the lungs fill up with air that's already had the oxygen removed, and that's not what we want. So the out breath is just as important. So that's why we have the longer side of the rectangle as the out breath. Now, if you're finding that you're too anxious or stressed to do the relaxed tummy breathing, then that's the thing to focus on, is that you still need to breathe out and you still need to try and calm your breathing down. So sort of recovery breathing is what you want to do, that focuses on the out breath. So breathe in through the nose and then a decent out breath through pursed lips so that you can feel the air going out, because the out breath is what you need to remember to do. I'm not talking about blowing really hard like you're blowing out candles or blowing up a balloon, because as you know, if you've tried to blow up a load of balloons for a child's party, that'll leave you very lightheaded, and that's the opposite of what we're really trying to achieve here. But just slowly and calmly and lightly, so you can feel the air coming out between pursed lips. And you can combine that with the relaxed tummy breathing if you would like to. There's nothing stopping you doing the relaxed tummy breathing with the pursed lip breathing. A final technique to use involves activity. When you're trying to move around, when you're trying to do something that involves some degree of exertion. I don't know if you've ever seen a boxer training. You'll hear them breathing out with each punch. It's quite a familiar sort of sound to hear when you see a boxer training, or someone lifting a weight. They should be breathing out during the difficult bit and then breathe in as they come back down. So it's an efficient way to get rid of the carbon dioxide air out of your lungs while you're doing a difficult exertion from activity. Now, some people almost do the opposite of that, and they hold their breath, say, while they're going upstairs because they're so focused on the effort. You need to keep breathing because your body still needs that oxygen. So a good way to handle something like, if you need to use stairs, is to do what the boxer does or the weightlifter does and breathe out during the difficult bit, which for you is stepping up each step. You might want to use it for other activities that you find difficult. Some people find standing up from a chair or a toilet difficult, and again you can breathe out while you do that difficult part. That technique's called blow as you go. So to summarize breathing techniques, we want to use the diaphragm down here, the sheet of muscle underneath your lungs, as much as possible for breathing. That is your specialized breathing muscle. That will do your breathing in as efficient a way as possible and with as little fatigue as possible. And to know when you're breathing using your diaphragm, you put your hand on your tummy and you feel it expand as you breathe in, not going in as you breathe in, like someone who's breathing into their chest. That's not what we want. We want this. That's how we want to be breathing in as much of the time as possible. So it may be challenging to start with, but practice it and use it particularly at times when your breathing is a challenge. Some people also like to use a focus on the breathing out, which we've explained is important to breathe out, and a way you can make sure that your breathing out is done effectively is to follow the rectangle with the long side on the breathing out, or to breathe out through pursed lips like that, so you can feel it gently going out. And there's no reason you can't combine several of these. You can have your hand on your tummy doing relaxed tummy breathing whilst following a rectangle on the wall and breathing out through pursed lips. You can do all of those things at the same time if you want to. And then remember, blow as you go, breathe out whilst you're doing a short, difficult activity. Don't hold your breath while you're trying to do it because you need to keep breathing. So I hope those breathing techniques will be helpful for you. Do practice them. Sometimes they feel a bit unnatural to start with, but those are the most efficient ways of breathing. So persevere with it, and I hope you'll be rewarded. We're going to move on to other strategies in the next video, so please continue on to the next video. Thank you. Bye.